welcome to Mystic Brew. I'm going to make a little announcement and a little bit of a show, and the show will be about holistic leadership. So I'm sitting here, got to kind of cue some things. So the announcement is I'm now going to be putting my videos on VidMe also, and so it might seem like a logical progression, but this is very much a part of something that we YouTubers are concerned about, because they're changing the algorithms on YouTube. It's probably from its parent company, YouTube, Google. So there are a number of people who have been calling attention to it, but one person has called attention to it in what I consider to be a particularly cogent fashion. And that would be this man here. That's Styx Hexenhammer. That's a little shot from myminds.com. I'm on minds.com, and I posted this one up. And it's called Goodbye, All Right YouTube. Hello, All Right World. War on the Lamestream Media. And he's basically replying, is usually he starts his video with, all right YouTube, and then he goes off into whatever video he's making. Well, apparently now it's going to be All Right World. And this was an 18-minute video. The first 10 minutes were really good. His last 8 minutes, he got very impassioned. Something, I shouldn't say very impassioned, but the passion was there. I mean, tones that I rarely hear from him, and just a certain stirring that was quite inspiring. So that's okay. So that's where I'm going to kind of get. Let me get myself back into the picture. There's Styx. So what holistic leadership, and I spell holistic with a W, and the reason I spell it with a W is because for me holistic has to take in all perspectives. My experience I started off doing body in the field 27 years ago, and I actually started working with chakra palpation and putting stones for chakra attunements and things like that. And that's when I started discovering that sometimes I was finding interference in the energy, and it was locked in the tissue. And then I started doing tissue manipulation. That moved me into massage therapy. I became a medical massage therapist, a lower body specialist, all that. So, okay. So and my experience often in holistic with an H, it was more like there was too much dogma. There was holistic way of doing things that I thought was more about the method than about the client or the person who is in some kind of distress and would like to either be removed or have the distress lessened, whether that distress is from pain or emotional or whatever. And so, for me, if I go, oh, you could take these herbs, and they go, oh, I don't really like herbs. I really trust modern medicine. Well, I know enough about the medicines, especially the older ones. The older ones are actually the ones I grew up with are a lot less complicated and work much more directly. But anyway, my whole thing is about relieving distress or suffering, and especially when that suffering is creating some kind of disturbance that isn't allowing people to even think straight. So for me, holistic means whatever works, whatever takes, I take the whole picture, everything that's available to suggest, I put on my table, and what works best for that person is what I will choose. And that's why holistic is with a W. Anyway, so for me, holistic leadership, we sovereigns, all libertarians, we're really quite sovereign. We're not looking for a leader for day-to-day things and in most of the things we do. But every once in a while, we're going to do things as a large group. And coordination is really helpful. So with regards to the challenges we're facing as YouTubers, whether it's monetization or just being found or disappeared when people go to look for your videos. I mean, I do not monetize my videos. It's just not the time. And if I ever were to dedicate myself enough to ask for people to take care of me, it would be through Patreon or PayPal or one of those other things. I would not subject anybody to watching the few commercials that I have ever watched. I use ad blocker. All right. I'm not in the mood for commercials. I don't really support the whole. I mean, I guess I support it, but and if watchers don't mind sitting through progressive commercials or whatever the norm. I mean, the thing that troubled me was it was the same kind of trash I ran away from the TV from 7 years ago. I wouldn't want to subject anybody to that inanity, to the way it's presented, to the dumbing down, a lot of times even just to the products. I'm not the people who are willing to do that. I'm not making them bad, and maybe their client, and maybe many of the people just figure, oh, this is a trade-off. You know, again, they grew up on TV. Maybe they don't know any better. I'm not holding anybody wrong. I just wouldn't do that, and my own personal integrity would not allow me to feed companies that actually I think the world would be better off without many of them. Not all of them, but many of them. Now, if there was a way of like, there was a whole panoply of various people who were looking for markets, like, you know, I don't know, if there was somebody who was selling essential oils or fine herbs or other things, I don't know, gums and resins, good incense instead of that perfumey incense, the better ones. And like they could match the audiences with, I mean, that real matching instead of just the way they're doing it. I wouldn't mind having ads that were offering you blue pearl incense if you've never heard of it and you've been buying some other kind of stuff. I mean, there's any number of things, and even essential oils. I mean, as an aromatherapist, I would kind of know. I've kind of tested out some of the oils. I mean, really, one of the best domestic oil sellers in the country is Gritman out of Texas. Anyway, so in this holistic, we're getting back to holistic leadership. So as everything's going, and it really would be good because we are a community, and so to kind of move as a community would help. A little coordination helps. I mean, I'm a musician. I'm in bands. I don't have to be the one in charge, but whoever's in charge better be better than me. And to me, in holistic or maybe even organic leadership, what you do is when there kind of comes a need, and you go, you know what, a little coordination, a little direction, a little of a pattern that somebody throws out, and you go, that pattern kind of has a lot of it, and the person who put the pattern out also had a lot of juice for it. I like that. So that's what happened with Sticks, Hex, and Hammer. To me, in this little challenge that we're meeting as YouTubers with the censorship and whether it's monetization or just not being seen, which is really the most important thing, having strategies to come to VidMe and Minds. I've been on Minds.com for a few months now. So the strategy to do that, but the thing that I like most besides preventive or almost like screw you YouTube, which is not where he's coming from maybe we can save YouTube. YouTube is a great platform. We built it. They gave us the land. We put the buildings there. The places of business we put there, and the ideas they're making about trying to, like, news is, we're viewership. Everybody's on the web. We got to move to the web so we get the eyes of it again. The reason they move to the web is because you suck, news people. You suck. You lie. You manipulate, you leave things out, you're weaving a narrative, you're weaving a spell. That is your job, to spellbind people with a narrative that works for the people who you might not even know, but have a global scheme going. All right? So I love the idea of saving YouTube. And from a business perspective, it would seem that the best thing to do would be to work with us. With the mindset right now, what I'm picking up in the noosphere and some other things is that the New World Order is very, very panicked, even if they don't want to admit it. And so, these people are rich, stupid rich. Actually, as Chris Rock would say, I don't know, pick a basketball player or somebody makes a lot of money. He's rich. The person who signs his check is wealthy. So there's these people who own these corporations like Google are wealthy. Right now, they're in a battle. And one of the things, I know one of the things, I mean, populism, but the very fact that all of this pedophilia stuff is starting to rise, man, let me tell you, you don't get it. You may get a jail sentence if you're guilty of those kind of crimes, but you really are getting a death sentence. All right, the people who inhabit prisons, those various criminals, and some of them are out and out psychopaths. I mean, there are psychopaths who don't wear suits and ties, and fortunately, a fair amount of them are in prison. But they kind of have their own culture about what's good and bad. And one thing that those people agree is absolutely unacceptable is a child molester. So these people are up against it. Even if, Eric, I'm not calling anybody at a head, but trust me, at these levels, the people you probably a third of them could get in quite a lot of trouble if their private lives were known. So in going back to holistic leadership, very briefly, so Styx is the person who's kind of presented an idea. Of the many people who are presenting ideas, he kind of like has a plan. And it's one that came to him, and he was kind enough to share it, and he shared it with great passion in this last video. So regarding this, I'm doing a lot of the things that he has suggested. Not only in this video, the one he made a few days ago, which I also posted up on Minds, first getting this thing ball rolling, and he's had an enormous response. Matter of fact, he now has to make 2 videos a day to do shout outs to people, and at least some of the bigger YouTubers. Again, he's gotten so much. I mean, I made a video about 3 hours after he made the last video. I sent him an example of it, but again, I am under 1,000 subscribers. God only knows whether or not I'm deemed worthy. But anyway, it doesn't. But this isn't about whether or not Styx give me a shout out. He's right. He's right, and this isn't about politics. To me, I don't have time for politics. I only have time for good ideas. An idea is either good or it's not good. And when I mean good, I mean it works for the most people and for most reasonable people. So anyway, that's going to close. This is so for my YouTube channel people, and I will as long as YouTube allows me to post and allows me to be found by you, I will be there. So if you like this little video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have, thank you for my new subscribers. It's great. I've gone up by a few notches. It's been nice. And if you have any comments, I really like comments. Even comments for shows or what, you used to do this, you don't do that anymore, you're going to do that. So anyway, talk to me. All right. Anyway, that would be kind of like be well. God bless you all. Source bless you all. Creator. And just like, through me to you. And I'll see you next time.